You're watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Easley and Ryan Minley.
Hello and welcome. Basketball is going. The men are solid. The women are unstoppable right now.
You're unstoppable right now too, aren't you? Something along those lines. Well, we'll talk hoops in a bit. But first, we look back to the end of the Griffon football season. The Griffons' 2013 season came to a close Saturday with a loss to rival Northwest.
Here's a look back. And here we go, nearly 8,000 strong, packing Spratt Stadium to see number 19 Missouri Western tangle with number 2 Northwest. The rivalry game, regular season finale, and senior day for the Griffons. A talented group taking their final bows of 2013. The Bearcats coming into this one undefeated and trying to clinch the outright MIAA championship. They were impressive. First quarter already 7-0 Northwest and going for more. Trevor Adams hits Clint Hunter for the 6-yard scoring strike. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Bearcats up 14-zip. The Griffon D trying to slow the momentum. Next Bearcat possession. Yami Ali kills the drive with the INT. Western trying to get back in it. They do with a 12-play, 85-yard drive. Raphael Spencer caps it by squeaking through the trenches and into the end zone. Western within 7. Bearcat O, though, with an answer. Adams to Ruben Spencer, who gets to the corner. Touchdown. 21-7 now. Northwest AD Mel Churchma dressed up in Coach Mel Churchma attire. St. Louis Rams kicker Greg Zerline dressed up in Clark Kent attire. Griff's trying to cut into the lead before the half, but John Schmiemeyer's field goal attempt is blocked. The Bearcats would kick a field goal of their own to close the half. Griffs go to the break down 24-7. They were down 17 last year and came back to win. So history's on the Griffin side, but this Northwest team, a different animal. They forced Western into a quick 3-and-out to start the third quarter. Then Adams walks in to give the Cats a 24-point lead. A few minutes later, more of the same. Robert Burton, 106 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. This puts the Bearcats up 38-7. Credit the Griffs, though, still fighting despite the big deficit into the third. Travis Partridge to Stephon Weaver. It's a 38-14 game. Partridge was under pressure all day from the Bearcat defense, but makes the play of the game in the fourth. Hit as he throws, launches a prayer to the end zone. Reggie Jordan answers the prayer by tipping it to himself. Wow, another look. Partridge never saw the touchdown catch. He was on the ground. Griffin still had some fight left, but the Bearcat offense just too much. They outgain Western 493 to 293, and the Griffins fall in the finale. 51-21 the final. Northwest clinches the outright conference championship, moves to 11-0. The Griffins finish the season at 8-3. Also marks the end of the father-son era in Griffin Nation, one of the most successful eras in Missouri Western history. Afterwards, high praise for the rival Bearcats.
They were a better team today. They had a better plan. They executed it better. They beat us today, and as a person, as a man, sometimes you have to realize that, did I give it my best effort? And I think I personally did, and I know a lot of people they did as well. I mean, there was no quit, and that should tell you something. We're sitting here 8-3, and extremely disappointed. I mean, that can tell you all you need to know right there about our program and what direction it's going in. And yeah, I wouldn't trade for the world. I love my father, love my family, love my teammates, and it's been a lot of fun.
The words from Coach Partridge and Travis Partridge on Saturday. Jerry Partridge joins us on Monday when we tape this show. First of all, hats off to Northwest. They played very well. It's a very good team that could go pretty far.
Yeah, I think they play well. I think their defense plays really hard, and they got fast linebackers, and they kind of dare you to throw the ball where they bump and run. And we got away with some things. They interfered several times, and we took advantage of some of that. But I think on defense is where we didn't play very well. I think we didn't cover. We had some zone some gap issues with some of the run stuff that reared its ugly head, and we got to get better on defense next year.
I know people are disappointed the way it ended. Travis made the comment. He goes, "This is where this program is. That you're 8-3 and you're incredibly disappointed." But 8-3 is still 8-3.
We're doing very well, and I think it feels that way a little bit because we lost 3 of our last 4 and they were all at home. I think that's why it feels that way. We got to 7-0, which is the first time since 1981. There's still some positives in it. We've beaten Central Missouri 10 out of the last 11 years. We've beaten Washburn 4 out of 5. I mean, there's a lot of good things. We finally beat Southern. So But just losing that Emporia game, I think, really hurt us. It was a game we shouldn't have lost. And then I think, obviously, to me, you got to tip your hat to what Pitt and Northwest did against us in those games. They played very well.
And it's a difference. You don't lose to Emporia, you're likely.
We'd probably still be in because strength of schedule. To my understanding, we had the number 1 strength of schedule in the whole region. So it's our league right now is just not everybody's playing everybody. It makes it very difficult to determine apples to apples stuff.
Stats are what they are, but when you go back and you look at the start of the year and some of the questions we had coming into this year, and now you look at the stats. Very impressive. Raphael Spencer leads the MIAA in rushing. He replaces the all-time greatest rusher in Missouri Western history, and Michael Hill, who's playing on Sundays and playing behind 5 new offensive linemen for all intents and purposes. Just talk about his season and how impressive that is.
Well, I think Ralph's a great back. He runs really well. A little upset he didn't get first-team all-conference. I don't get that one totally. But
he was second-team all-conference. That was announced that'll be announced on Tuesday.
Yeah, we base quarterback on stats, but we don't base the running backs on stats. But it's great back. He's fast, and we got him for 2 more years. And again, there's a lot of other kids that can play there too. We have a lot of depth there too. So, I've already talked to him about getting second team, and he's motivated by it, and he'll do well. And honestly, all conference stuff who knows how voting goes. There are some things that happen sometimes that aren't totally true.
Reflect on the senior class and the mark they left, second all-time winningest class in school history. We've talked a lot about the father-son relationship, but this is the end of an era in that sense.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Not necessarily easy to do, but I think that we pulled it off pretty good. I think there's some people doubted how it was going to go down, and we did a good job with it. Honestly, I mean, I give him most of the credit because he was good, and that helped. If he would have stunk, it'd have been tough, but he was good, and we handled it well. I think all the coaches that were involved with it handled it well. I think there's been some great players in that group. I mean, Baska and Reggie Jordan, and I don't want to just start naming guys and forget them, but we missed Crockham. Crockham breaks his arm week 3. That was a huge loss, and Derek Libby, and I could go on and on, all the different kids, and those kids kept playing all the way. Austin Baska played his heart out Saturday. You look at our last touchdown. I mean, Travis is scrambling for his life and gets drilled as he throws it, and Reggie makes a great catch in the end zone. What a way to kind of go out. And I think when they look back on it, even though they maybe fell a step short of what they wanted to get to, they're going to remember the good things. They're going to remember their junior years and winning it. They're going to remember that they did win 8 wins. They won, they're part of teams that won 9, or actually 8, 9, 12, 8. That's a good run.
Just one off the winningest senior class school history, just one short of last year. Coach P, moving forward as obviously, recruiting begins. Recruiting's already started. It never really ends. But, in your mind, and it's hard to put a finger on this, but what is your biggest need headed into next year in your mind?
Well, in my mind, I think obviously, the key losses where there's just not a lot of depth there people say tight end and quarterback, But we do feel strongly about what's there at quarterback and what those kids can become. Transfers not needed. We feel like they're going to be good players. Tight end wise, there's some good guys there that are continuing to get better and better and better. And so I don't know that we need to transfer there. We need some of the young kids to just get better. And we need some O-linemen, some young O-linemen and some depth O-linemen to man up, so to say.
And they're all there.
And get tougher, and get physically better and stronger and battle in there. There's a great core there. I mean, I think that Travis Anderson's going to be a good player. Leonard Wester's going to be a good player. Christian Orduno. I mean, John Carter played, and it's going to be a nice
True freshman.
Yeah, but we're going to need some guys to step in there and get in one of those guys too. And so that's going to be the key. I think D-line, there's a whole lot of kids back. We got some young linebackers who are going to step up and play and help us. So I'm excited about what's going to happen.
Well, Coach P, as of right now, I hope there's a future segment, but as of right now, this could be the final guaranteed tantalizing trio of the year.
We find something.
I know he's probably going to lose some sleep tonight over this, but 3 questions, and you know what, Ryan? These are pretty good.
Good questions this week.
Really good questions this week.
About time.
Coach P, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you your assessment of the Chiefs against Denver on Sunday night.
I felt good about it. I felt they played well. I just assume not bump up so much with no help over top, but that's the way it goes, and I thought they played very well, and I think now I'm changing my prediction to at least 13-3.
Whoa,
you guys
baby,
started the year
wait
9-7.
No, I think I was 8-8.
You said 8-8?
Wow.
Oh, excuse me for correcting me. Okay, you were 8-8, then you were 9-7, then you were 10-6. Now he's at 13.
Okay, I like that. Coach P, something else I like. Kind of moving in next week's Thanksgiving. Are you a pumpkin pie guy, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, he says. And finally, and we're going to get back to football on a serious note.
There was no follow-up to that? No follow-up to pumpkin pie? I'm sorry, go back.
Do you have one?
No, I don't.
I didn't give yes or no. I said absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just thought there would be something else to that.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
One word to describe this senior class.
Tough.
That would be my word exactly.
I agree with that. Hey, another great year. I know it wasn't where you wanted to be, but program, again, it kind of says where it is when we're sitting here disappointed in 8-3. That's a good thing.
Yep.
That's Head Coach Jerry Partridge. Hope to talk to you. We'll talk to you again. We'll bring you back on in like a cameo role. Can you
I think he needs
come
to beat
punch Max
He needs to
or-
beat Max
Yes,
Griffin up.
please do. Please do.
feel bad if he
Do
does.
the Harlem Shake.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Sometimes I wonder if Elvis had hip pain. And if he did, I know I could have fixed it. And if I did, he'd still be alive today.
At this point in the season, nobody cares if you're undrafted, your first round, fifth round. They want to see you produce. And not only just saying, hey, it was a DN that went in the first round, I think I'm better than him. I'm going to prove to guys that I'm better than him. No, I'm just going to work my butt off so I can be the best I can be. And if the best I can be is better than that first rounder, then so be it.
Another special moment in Missouri Western football history. This one happened this past Sunday. Chicago Bears fans now know what Missouri Western fans have known for a long time. David Bass is a very special player. The former Griffon defensive end delivered the second pick six of his career, the first in an NFL uniform, of course, in Chicago's 23-20 overtime win over the Baltimore Ravens. Welcome back, Mr. Bass. Scary, athletic, and a fun fact for you, Brett Easley.
I like fun facts.
I know you do. He was also a first-team All-State basketball player in his time at University City High School in St. Louis.
That doesn't surprise me at all. You say that because we're talking basketball now. The Griffon men sit at 3-2 on the season after going 2-1 in home games last week in the Fieldhouse.
Let's relive the beginning of the Brett Weiberg era, shall we? Wednesday, Max and his Maniacs out in full force. The Griffon men taking on Midland College in Coach Brett Weiberg's regular season home debut. Large man, lots of lavender. Smaller man, big sandwich. Midland, an NAIA Final Four team from a year ago, had an early lead, but then Darius Fulton takes over. 5 first-half threes. He scored all 17 of his points in the first frame. Former coach Tom Smith looking on from the crow's nest, watching his former team do work. Fulton working both sides of the floor. Off the steal, up ahead to Trez Colbert. He had 14 points. Griffs close the half on a 23-8 run and take a 39-26 lead to the break. Max's Maniacs picking up steam, open to Griffs of all ages. Second half, Western maintaining control. DZ Markalovich, a foot taller than the defense. That's a matchup problem. DZ scored 13 of his 17 points in the second half. Griffs led by as many as 23. That blazes a trail to the Fountain of Youth. Meanwhile, Ryan Devers blazing his own trail to the basket. He had 12 points, one of 4 players in double figures. That leads to hugs and handshakes as Western rolls 86-68 the final. They run their record at 2-1 on the young season. A solid performance for a team still trying to find its footing. Friday, the Missouri Western men opening the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic. Griffin's taking on and taking it to William Jewell. They open the game on an 18-4 run. Ryan Devers, a big reason why. 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting, all of it in the first half. Later, around the world with Darius Fulton. He had 12 points. Griff's up 15 now. The Maniacs out in full force. They like what they see. They'll love this. On the break, Devers to Trez Colbert, who sticks it. He had 22. Western goes to the break with a 42-19 lead. Second half, they hold serve. Cedric Clinkscales, get out of my house. He had 10 points, 6 boards to go on with 2 blocks as the Griffs roll to a 78-55 win. A good start to the Classic. Things would only get tougher.
We're going to have to pick it up tomorrow. We're playing a better team, bigger players, faster guards, better shooters. So we got our work cut out for us tomorrow.
Tomorrow being Saturday, prom isn't until April. Griff's taking on a talented Midwestern State team from Texas. The Mustangs ranked 13th in the D2 nation. Ryan Devers says, I got your ranking right here. That's either luck or sick. Griff's by 3 midway through the first half. The rest of the way, though, all Midwestern. Mazingo Williams helps the Mustangs close the half on an 18-9 run. They take a 44-33 lead to halftime. Coach Jerry Partridge getting football advice from a super fan. Coach Brett Weiberg watching Midwestern pull away. More from Williams. Midwestern shot 50% for the game, and despite 18 points from Colbert, the Griffons fall 82-64. Midwestern now 4-0. The Griffons are 3-2.
They played a good game, and we didn't come with anywhere close to what I felt like was our best game. And when that happens, then you kind of get embarrassed like we did.
And joining us now, making his GSI on-set debut.
Yes.
This is the first time ever. You know, you've been on GSI before,
That's
but just
like a
first time
cake
here.
or something, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't bring the cake. It's still in the mail
we
or at the bakery.
We already ate it, actually.
Head Coach Brett Weiberg, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Well, let's talk about the week that was, and a pretty solid week. You run into a Midwestern State team that was very, very good. Measuring stick-wise, you hope that was a measuring stick game. Where is this team right now?
Well, according to that game, we have a long ways to go. They took advantage of every time that we made a mistake. They scored it from all 5 spots on the floor, and we allowed them to do that, and we need to get better offensively. So effort-wise over the weekend, I wasn't displeased. I was fairly pleased. Execution-wise and play-wise, we got to get a lot better.
Well, one player that's new to here, but not new to you, Cortrez Colbert, he is really off to a good start, especially on the offensive end. Just talk about his play.
He's shooting the ball very well. He likes to shoot it, so it's good that it's going in right now. He's really good at the quick transition and getting out, and Ryan and Adarius and all of our other guys have found him some in transition, which helps. And so, but he's had a great start. He's a good kid. He's a competitor, and hopefully he'll continue to just get better.
You know, one thing in the last week, you guys have done a nice job of feeding the hot hand. It's kind of been a very unselfish type of play that we've seen so far.
We have to be that way if we're going to be any good, and so that's something that we're constantly preaching to our guys, and our guys have to continue to buy into that. But yes, the guys have been unselfish. We have to continue to be that way. If we are, then we'll continue to improve.
And it's hard to believe. Just yesterday we were talking about you being the next head coach, and it's been 6 months since you were hired here, so you've been here for 6 months. I know it's still the honeymoon. How is the honeymoon?
Hey, it's going great. You know, everyone at Missouri Western's just been outstanding, all the way from Coach Smith to the athletic administration, you guys, just everyone in the town. My kids have adjusted well, my 3 children. My wife's doing great, and if your wife's doing okay and your kids are doing okay, it makes the rest of it a lot better.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Weiberg, let's look ahead to this week a little bit. You got some time to practice. Last week was a busy week, but you head out on the road for, I guess, your first true road game. You played Augustana in Sioux Falls. It wasn't in their building, but this Saturday you go to Illinois Springfield's building, a team that came to St. Joe a year ago. We defeated them here, but you got to go to their place. What do you know about the Prairie Stars? We know that they've won their last game. They got beat at Evansville, then they went to a classic similar to what we went to and dropped 2 games to both pretty good teams. I highly anticipate it being very challenging. I think we match up good with them in 3 or 4 spots on the floor. And so I look forward to the challenge of going on the road, playing a road game. Look forward to being with our guys in the same setting for another, totally together for 24 hours or 48 hours, I guess. But they'll be a good team, and they'll be a tough challenge, and we're looking forward to it. Well, another tough challenge, Coach Weiberg, that I know you're looking forward to is we do this segment at the end of each coach's interview. It's called Easley's Tantalizing Trio, and this drives Ryan insane.
Names it after himself.
This drives Ryan insane, but it's champagne chicken is our special today.
Do you get that? Do you understand that?
Tantalizing Trio just sounds like you walk into a restaurant and today here's our special. It just goes hand in hand with the food. So every week I have my weekly special, and
Coach Partridge
he tells me I'm nuts. Coach Partridge tells me I'm nuts. So, but I think you and I will be on the same wavelength. So Coach Weiberg, we ask you 3 questions, and it's just the first thing that pops into your mind. It may be basketball related. It may have nothing to do with sports. So Ryan already asked you this, but you've been here 6-7 months. What's your favorite thing about St. Joe so far? Pappies. Pappies.
That's okay. Good. Just get them a free commercial. They're not even a sponsor of the show. But
and you're not the first one to say that either.
Yes. Basketball thing.
And this is one word to describe you.
One word to describe me. Passionate.
Passionate. I like that, and that's a good answer. And finally, and you maybe already answered this too, if you were given one last meal, what would it be?
Pizza.
Pizza.
What kind of pizza?
Yeah.
Supreme
hamburger
pizza.
Okay,
we ask the hard questions here on GSI.
Terribly hard question.
Yeah. That's Head Coach Brett Weiberg.
Good luck this week.
Well, we'll talk to you next week. They're at Illinois Springfield this week. They played their first 5 games in 7 days last week. So what a difference a day makes or a week makes. So now you can have 1 game in 1 week. That's okay. So go get a win. That'd be good.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.
I am a physical therapist. My job is to lend a hand, or unlock a leg, fix a foot, stretch you to the limit. No matter the injury, I have got your back. I'm Brent Colgan. This is Spine and Sport.
This GSI Basketball Spotlight brought to you by the Missouri National Guard.
Welcome back. They went 16-12 a year ago. If this current pace continues, the Missouri Western women will be 32-0 this year. I kind of like that pace. I don't know about you.
Probably won't happen, though.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
you can't win them all unless you win the first three.
That's true, and they are off to a 3-0 start and showing no signs of weakness whatsoever. Let's take a look back on last week. Tuesday, the Griffon women trying for a 2-0 start to the season. They got there by annihilating Avila University in the process. This one, all Griffons all the time. Sharnice Lewis, 3-ball, draws the whistle, drops the shot. How about a 4-point play? She had 11 points off the bench. Griff's up 37-15 at this point, and you can wave bye-bye to any semblance of a close game. Western scoring every way possible, using the defense to create offense. Lewis off the steal, ahead to Alexis Gray. It's too easy. She had 7.7 rebounds. Western by 24 now. Later, Kristen Crawford, 3-ball, no good. But even when they miss, they turn it to points. Denise White, the board, back to Crawford, who gets a 3-point play the hard way. Then in transition, Jaquita Deaver to Tiffany Abrams. Abrams had 14 points off the bench. Western shot 65% in the first half. They go to the break with a 59-27 lead. Former Griff Bearbell could have eaten 59 pounds of popcorn, and Avila probably wouldn't have stopped her either. Second half, more the same. Deaver and 1. Griffs by 51. Put the mascot in. Actually, don't do that. Better yet, put the freshman in. Western hadn't scored 100 points in a game in 8 years until now. Stephanie Lichtenauer puts the Griffs over the century mark. 10 different players cracked the scoreboard for Western as they roll 104-50 the final. It's the program's highest scoring output since 2002. That's impressive.
Our bench scoring was 60-13, and if you can score 60 points out of your 90 or 100 and whatever it was, 60 out of your 104 comes off the bench. That's just a nice thing.
Friday, Max Griffin and the Mo West women taking on Illinois Springfield and doing whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. Jaquita Deaver creates her own path to the basket. She had 5 assists to go along with her 7 points. Griffs with a 23-point lead in the second half. This team is going to make a lot of other teams bang their heads in frustration. Why? Well, because they're deep. They're hard to stop, especially in the post. Quenisha Lockett and 1. She had 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting in just 15 minutes of work. Western rolls to a 78-41 victory, and they run their record to a perfect 3-0.
You know, I can go back 2 weeks ago into 2 scrimmages and would have felt like that we've been lucky to win 2 or 3 games the whole season. I mean, we got some gamers. We got some when the lights come on, put on the uniform, kids to go play. And again, I'm just so happy with some of these kids are coming off the bench. We're just very balanced. I mean, we just got a lot of weapons, and some nights it's going to be this kid, some nights it's going to be that kid.
Yeah, it's great being able to play 10 to 11 players. Most teams don't have that many people coming off the bench, and we still have more, coming off the bench. So it's easier for everybody to get more minutes in if fresh legs coming in all the time, keep our defense up. So it's definitely a plus for our team.
Keep winning by 30, you can play all 17.
We definitely can. That's our goal. Everybody get in, everybody get buckets, everybody stay composed. That's our goal for the year.
The Griffon women will try to make it 4-0 when they travel to Rockhurst this Saturday night.
Meanwhile, the Griffon volleyball team is making a little history in 2013. They made their first ever appearance in the MIAA postseason conference tournament this week.
Yeah, the Griffons also did something in their regular season finale that they hadn't done in 7 years. Festive Thursday night in the Fieldhouse. Missouri Western Volleyball regular season finale. Griffs trying to finish above 500 for the first time since the Bush administration. To do it, they'd have to get by Southwest Baptist, and they did that just fine. Lindsey Partridge can't get the kill. Then Partridge prevents the kill. Then Partridge finishes what she started. Blocky very much. Griffs take set 1, 25-22. Set 2, Erica Rottinghouse. There is no blocking this. She had 9 kills on the night. Griffs take the second frame, 25-17. There are no words for this. No words at all. Set 3, there are words for this. Sarah Fauble, great dig. Aaron Backus turns it to points. Bye-bye Baptist. Western completes the 3-0 sweep. They run their overall record to 16-14 and secure their first winning season since 2006. They go 9-7 in MIAA play. It's their first winning conference record since 2000. A huge step forward for a program that lost its top 2 players early in the season, a program that's already punched a ticket to the MIAA postseason conference tournament next week.
Obviously, to this group, it's a big deal. You know, we've been talking a lot this year about how we're winners. Just the resiliency of this team and some of the changes we had to make early because of injuries and, you know, just circumstances. For this team to just prove to everyone that we're winners is important.
Me and Erica have the same birthday, February 27th, 1993. So anyone, when that comes around.
What does that have to do with anything about a winning season or anything?
It's awesome. And then people can be like, oh my God, they have the same birthday. We should totally get them both presents.
At neck deep, 700 cubic centimeters of blood is displaced from the extremities back to the heart. What I'm trying to say is, aquatic therapy gets your blood pumping.
Those methods unconditional and definitely entertaining and most definitely effective. Fred Schunkweiler.
He's right here.
And he is.
He's here.
In the
We
flesh.
beamed him up, and here he is.
Fred Schunkweiler from Spine and Sport Physical Therapy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome again. You get on here like once a year.
Once a year, something like that.
Even though your face is on it every single
we get the weekly.
Your face is on this show more than ours. It is.
Hey.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of cool stuff this year with some different types of testing. Not really different, but on Dalton Kreisa, just basically getting him better and talk about that.
I mean, you know, the motto we have at Spine and Sport is train like the pros. And we look at the success we've had at putting people in the pros, and, you know, Missouri Western has produced a lot of good athletes. But some of that training comes from the pros. I had the opportunity to train with the best of the best. I went to some of the most elite sports performance institutes, learned what they do in the pros, and brought that back to St. Joe. So that's what you saw with Dalton over the last 8 weeks, some of the injury prevention stuff that we're working with him, and did work with him. And we're offering that here to the St. Joe athletes, whether you're a high school or college athlete. We do that down at our second location now, down at BFit. So really trying to bring the best of sports performance, the best of sports science to St. Joe.
Expand on your second location. There may be, obviously I think folks know where your main location is, but just talk more about that and what's going on down there.
This fall we opened up a little satellite clinic at BFit Sports Performance down at 22nd and Locust, and Brad Durham and Toby Lawrence have been running that for several years, working with high school athletes. We just teamed up with them, put a physical therapy site on site, bring a little sports medicine perspective to their training philosophy. It's been a great kind of partnership, if you will, bringing even more resources to St. Joe athletes.
You've worked with Michael Hill, you've worked with David Bash, you've worked with Greg Zerline. All three of those guys are in the NFL. We'll just give you all the credit for it, 120%.
Of course. Can't do it. Those guys are all great.
Yeah.
How
is it nice to see them? I mean, David Bass has a pick 6 on Sunday.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and to know the guy behind that helmet, I mean, just his character and
good people.
You know, when we had him in open house last spring for the NFL draft, it's fun to see those guys succeed. But those guys, it's all their talent. We had fun working with them and helping them along the roads on their injuries that we worked with them. But their talent and their character speaks for themselves.
Well, Fred, if folks need the services of Spine and Sport Physical Therapy, tell them how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can stop by our clinic at the Belton Frederick. We're right there next to Panera Bread Company.
If you have an appointment, can you walk in?
You can walk right in. We do free consultations.
Okay.
To do treatment. We do need a doctor's script in the state of Missouri, but those are things that we will work with you on. We do athletic profiles. You don't need a script for that. So if you don't have an injury and you just want to perform better, give us a call, 279-SSPT.
Or if Max Griffin backhands you, can go in there.
Yeah, or if you punch Max Griffin, because that's about ready to happen before this
I hear that's an NCAA violation.
Well, that may mean punch the police too.
Well, it isn't if he doesn't find out about it. No, Eric, we didn't say that.
No.
Sorry.
Fred Schunkweiler, thank you for everything you've done with the show.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
A lot of fun with you over the last couple of years, and we'll talk to you more. Obviously.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.
St. Joe's really produced quite a few professional athletes in the last few years.
one thing they all have in common is they've all walked through our doors here at Spine and Sport.
I've done stuff that I've never done at any other physical therapy place, and I've been to a lot of physical therapists.
I recommend Spine and Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes.
I would recommend Spine and Sport to anybody from your average athlete to your professional athlete.
Train like the pros at Spine and Sport.
Well, it's Griffin's and Northwest Missouri State, and we're here at our tailgate of the week, and actually, this is a series of tailgates right here. We've got our football alums, we've got several other tailgates here. We won't go into this, and as we move on down, what a great environment. We've got music, we've got a lot of food, we've got people having a great time, all building up to a great kickoff in one of the best rivalries. Yes. One thing we do have is tailgate extraordinaire Zach Workman. Zach's a Hall of Famer. Zach played on our first team here at Missouri Western. And Zach, just reflect on what this has become over the last 44 years of Griffon football.
You know, it's really changed a lot because I remember the days gone by when there wouldn't hardly be anybody there, of course. And now you have all these people showing up and they are having a great time. You can just see the atmosphere change.
Welcome back. That's going to wrap things up this week.
Oh, nobody got injured, punched.
No Max Griffin.
We didn't do anything wrong.
No
apparently.
NCAA compliance.
Nobody got sued.
No, not this week.
Boy,
it's
clean
kind of
show.
a boring week. Max Griffin.
This one's not going to be on HBO this week.
We will be back next week. We'll see you then.
We're gold. Go Griffs.